Hey, it's Phil Ratcliffe with Rebel Financial, and thanks for joining us again for another one of our live broadcasts. Today, we've got Brian Wollenberg in from the Byron Saunders Foundation. They have a great organization, and I think you're going to really enjoy hearing about this and how they're helping people. So, Brian, thanks so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So, just to kind of get people into things, just tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
So what we do is Byron Saunders Foundation, we help families at Thanksgiving from, so in 1997 we helped 50 families. Last year we helped 5,000 families.
Wow.
And the goal is to get people that are in need of a Thanksgiving meal to provide them with $15 gift card and a box of non-perishables. And they can go to Kroger, usually that's who we use, and they can go and get like a turkey or ham, but let's say they're a vegetarian, the gift card will provide them with something of their choice that they would like.
Sure. So it's like a Kroger gift card?
Yes,
or,
yes,
yeah.
and we can do Giant Eagle too, but there's some, like Morrow County only has one Kroger. They do not have any other grocery store.
Gotcha.
So Kroger can give you a very good variety of locations. Like some counties just don't have a Walmart or a Giant Eagle or a Meijer, so that's why we try to use Kroger.
Do they help you out and actually donate, like sometimes? Or?
So they do a lot with mental health food banks. So,
we had them in like about a year ago,
and so we don't have a relationship with where
it's direct.
Yeah, correct. But Kroger does have something called Kroger Community Rewards, which we do, and they'll donate up to 5% on whatever you shop at Kroger.
Cool. So they combine your power together to kind of
Correct.
rebate back, and that's
Yes.
kind of like their help to you, or what's that?
Yeah, correct. Yes.
Awesome. And so then the bigger you get and the more you're doing,
Right.
then
it
builds up.
And it would be great to get a relationship with them in the future. That's what we're working on. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, you think about it with like the rise of Amazon, and now that they've got Whole Foods and stuff like that,
it's amazing.
Kroger and Giant Eagle, I think they're going to have to find ways to be connected with people in the community.
Yes.
Or people are just going to say, well, it's more convenient, cheaper to just do this.
Right.
But if you're connected to people, then people will say, well, it's only 10% more, and they actually care about us. They're not just some behemoth from somewhere else. Not that I'm anti-Amazon, but you've got to think about like the local versus just
the local. It's connecting with the local and just the human being that, the local is very important.
Oh, cool. So, from talking to you and Tony and reading your website, I think you guys have got a really interesting and awesome story. And maybe you could share that with everyone about how you came to be and why it's named how it is, etc.
Yeah, most definitely. So in 1996, I knew a lady, her name was Marty DeBow, and she started for many years had a Groveport adoptive family.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother was a teacher too, and she provided names to them. And so I was very intrigued and enrolled in that, and I became close to Marty, and she's like, why don't you do a Thanksgiving? That's where the Thanksgiving came in, because I knew I wanted to do something. I didn't know what that was.
Sure.
But so in '97 we started a Thanksgiving food drive, and in '97 we started with 50 families. Last year we helped over 5,000 families.
Wow, that's amazing.
And also in '97 I worked at Coca-Cola, and I was there for a year and a half, and there was a gentleman that I was working with. His name is Byron Saunders. Nice guy, second shift, and a lot of tough days at times, but he always was. It was just amazing having that relationship with him. And so,
just a positive person.
Yeah, positive person. And then in '99, I left in mid-'98, and in '99 he died in a car accident. And when we became a nonprofit, named it after him in 2002.
That's awesome.
And and just a good person. So he came the first couple of years, '97, '98, to help deliver meals or whatever. We were just talking about no GPS back then, or even MapQuest. It was just all
figuring out.
So that was fun. That was great times, and so we we're blessed and honored to name it after him in 2002.
That's a great story. You know, you talk about that, like having to use the actual atlas maps to like get around or what's. It's like I was telling somebody when I was in DC yesterday, we were talking about stuff and we saw a payphone in one of the legislative buildings. And it's like, whoa, a payphone. And then I told them the story about how I went on vacation with my kids and we saw a payphone somewhere and they were like, what is that? And I'm just like, well, back in the day, people didn't have cell phones that they could just call people. So you had to go over to these phones that were wired in and put money into them and then you could call and they were like, no.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah, that's how it works.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing how things. Now it's like I can't get off my phone.
Yeah, right. It's in your face all the time.
It is totally
changing human behavior. So, how do you determine who receives meals? Like, what's the process for someone to apply, or for you to even know that they need help? You know,
that's a great question. What how we find the recipients is 90% are from other organizations, and how that works is feeding 5,000 families. Instead of just reinventing that wheel, we work with a lot of food pantries in Central Ohio, Big Brothers Big Sisters, YMCA, Join, which is a Catholic organization, Lutheran Social Services, to APDS, Afrocentric Personal Development Shop. These are organizations that work with clients all year long, and they know who needs them, instead of us reinventing that wheel. But now, let's say somebody's got to show, somebody's got to identify whatever that need is, okay? And so, let's say you knew somebody, you can go to our website, request a meal.
I saw that on there,
yeah. You can go request a meal, just so we have a reference on,
if it's outside of those loops,
correct.
They still have a way.
Yes. And so, we just get to know the basic information to make sure we're identifying the family.
That's awesome. That's good. So, do you have any good stories, maybe? I know you said that you're working through these organizations, so it's harder, but, maybe just to give people, like we were talking about, the real personal, like, how does this help people,
I've had a lot of stories where people come to us and say, I don't know what we would have did without your gift to us for Thanksgiving, because we wouldn't have not had anything for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's just not about the food. It's about also about a family coming together and, having fellowship and just enjoying each other's company during that holiday. And, and so we're blessed to help other people, and that's what it's about. But a lot of the stories, we don't hear, like, when we started in '97, we would, like we said, hand deliver them. Okay, now we don't do that as much, so we don't hear the stories we used to. But there's a lot of people that have one-income families lose their job, and they might be living in a 2-story house, and you don't know that they're paying their rent, doing everything else, but they might not have enough food for Thanksgiving or whatever that looks like. So that there's a lot of those that happen. So it's just because someone's got a 2-story house doesn't mean that they don't need food or help or some type of
barely making it. Yeah.
Yes. So that's what motivates me and motivates us as a foundation to keep the vision of fighting hunger and making sure that one day no one in Ohio, and especially Central Ohio, does not
it
go.
Shouldn't be like that with as wealthy as our country is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the waste that we have, and so, it's a blessing to help others.
That's awesome. And I think that's an important thing too, because I think you see a lot of frustration in society. Maybe the last 20 years, I feel like it's been accentuated a lot. Maybe because we're siloed more in our social media and phones, and our country's so individualized. And not that having individuality, I think it's an awesome thing that made our country great, but balance in everything, right?
Yeah.
And like, what about our communities? There's something that just makes you feel good when somebody that you don't know helps you out, or you see them help somebody else out, like that pay it forward movement that went
forward. You're in contribution, you're in giving, because what did it say? What you sow is what you'll reap, or you'll get it tenfold back, or when you give because you do it from your heart. But it comes back to you pay it forward.
And all these people with depression and whatever the case, it's like, I think a lot of people think that they are alone and nobody does care. It's every man for himself, and get as much as you can get for you and yours. But it's just like, you know, the world is so much better if people would help each other and you felt like people cared, and if something bad happens, there'll be people there for you.
Right.
You know?
Well, when you see someone doing something good, no matter what it is, it motivates other people. People are watching, and people see something so negative all the time in this world sometimes. It's like, okay, why can't we just do awesome things and do good for people, the smallest things, and that can motivate someone else, someone else, someone else, someone else.
I like it's like that
like,
insurance commercial, right? Where the person like holds the door open for the next person.
Yes,
saves this person from stepping out in front of the car or whatever.
Yeah,
and
that
cool.
does have rippling effect.
Yeah,
by your being and your, you know, someone smiling or somebody, you know, our actions can have influence on people, not just by a gift or whatever, but just by your smile or you know, or
being happy, or if something bad happens, forgiving them instead of getting all mad and honking or cussing at them or something like that, right?
It's very easy.
So tell us, now that we know a little bit more, how can people get involved to help you or to help someone else, to give, etc.?
So there's a couple things that businesses can do. Food drives, especially in September, October time. Businesses do food drives could be organizations to.
Do you take that directly, or does that go through the food bank somehow?
So it goes to you can get a hold of me, and
your contact information. We put it up on the video, plus it's on the website.
And you contact me, and we'll drop boxes off to you, and we'll pick it up. So you do a food drive, we'll pick up the box. I'll pick up the food, whatever you have, and there's volunteer opportunities, and you can go to our website about that. And we're having a gala fundraiser in October. People find more about that.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we're doing, and it's just a matter of now it's just awareness and letting people know that.
How many chapters do you have? Because I saw something on there too that said that you could start a chapter.
So we have
as well too,
two right now.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm looking to
find somebody to help.
Well, we've got maybe about 4 or 5 that are in the works. You know, so I'm ready to start now. My board's like, look, we've got to set it up. Don't get too. You don't need to.
No cart before the horse.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yes, you got to make sure you're. You know, so we're doing that, and making sure we're setting these chapters up for success, and so cool. It's not as fast as I would like, but it's okay.
Yeah,
we'd rather do it right the first time and being, you know, so that's exciting, because what happens is when you have a chapter, everything stays in that county. So let's say Morrow County is going to start a chapter. What they can do is that everything that they raise, food, everything is local, stays in that county. The recipient, the money, the non-perishables, everything stays in that county. Instead of them doing a food drive and then bringing it back to Columbus to be counted, it's not. Morrow County gets to keep all their food in their county.
And so, from a local perspective, people probably like that because they know when they donate, it's going to help their neighbors.
Local.
Yeah,
it's local, and that's where the mission is, to where. Yeah, you got to delegate. Sometimes you know that as far running a business, you got to delegate. So having other chapters do their thing and doing their communities, they have a passion because they live in that community and give back to that community.
Cool. Well, I was looking at your website. If you could share that a little bit for a second, Jonathan.
Sure.
And I was looking at the on here, and I thought it was. I was amazed, like when I was looking down here. Where was it on one of these posts? It was saying how much, how many people you're going to feed with like a donation, and it's just like, man, I can't believe that it takes just that little to be able to help that many people, and then like there are these, companies helping you guys out.
Yes, most definitely. So there's to feed a family, honestly, it can be anywhere from $25 to $35.
That's crazy.
And so and you're getting your $15 gift card,
Uh-huh.
okay? But then you're getting all the boxes, the non-perishables. So
Yeah.
you got to figure like corn, green beans, stuffing, and potatoes. Depends on where you get that, you know.
Sure.
Kroger or Giant Eagle or Aldi, wherever you get it from. You know, some people have, you know, put the basics in. That's about $25, but then you can go and get a ton more stuff for $35, whatever. Because maybe you put a $20 gift card in there, or a $25 gift card. So what, you know, it varies, but that's the realm is usually between $25 and $35
awesome.
per family.
Yeah. And then, yeah, you can like them on Facebook, and then that way you can follow them, and you even got a donate button right there to make it easy for people to just
that's
straight
awesome.
up do it on the phone easy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, anything you'd like to leave everybody with, you know, as we're kind of closing out here?
Well, I just want to thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
us. And
Thank
just
you for all you
awareness.
guys do.
Thank you. Just awareness, and you know, would love for people to check out our website, and you know, any way that you could help or like to volunteer, whatever, please get in contact with us. That'd be great.
Awesome, Ryan. Thanks so much. Thank you guys for joining in and watching an awesome cause. Get involved if you can. If you're too busy, donate something to them. It will go to help one way or another. We have the ability to make a difference. So join us next week. We're going to have Ben Lock in from Music Go Round. The week after, Andy Chioda from Charisma PR. So we got some great things lined up. Hope you guys are having a great week. It's been a pretty nice, not too burning up hot. So hope you have a great weekend. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.